Hi everybody, I haven't uploaded a video on YouTube for a while. I've done lives here from Bali, and this is my final day in Bali, so I'll be leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again, but hopefully soon. So I'd like to make this video today with regards to the ever-growing understanding, deep understanding that I've struggled with for 20 years. And I'm going to start by ending the conversation. So I'm going to start the conversation to the ending of the conversation. The start of the conversation to answer what I'm about to talk about in 20 years of understanding this is that it's a personal journey, and that everything that you do for your fellow brothers and sisters to make their life a better life, a better place, and what you do and what you stand for, instead of just talking about it, basically doing it, making the difference, doing all the things that we should do, which we just talk about doing because it's on social media and we look good, but actually doing it, really doing it, being part of what you're saying, not just playing along with the rest of the people, which most people do. On social media, most people talk the talk, but when you look at them behind screen, they're full of shit, the lies and manipulations that they create just to justify a club to be in a club and friendship. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Yeah, you can take that away, all of them. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry. So, the topic of conversation today is with regards to 2 decades of seeing suffering, seeing pain, seeing the decline of love, the decline of happiness and joy, and the decline of freedom, and also watching very closely at the fact that darkness continues every day to cause suffering, to cause the worst kind of enslavement, the worst kind of trafficking, the worst kind of lies and manipulations daily, constantly. And the globalists, the governments, all of them who are, as you know now, most people have figured out that they're nothing but a bunch of psychopath bullies, and they've sold their soul because they're dirty perverts, and they're bought into the club of dirty perverts. And that's basically the bottom line in the whole, or when you look at the core of these disgusting paedophiles who are running the world. That's why everything's going wrong. If you've got love taking care of everything, then you've got love. You come to Bali and 99% of Bali is beautiful. The people are beautiful. You go into their disgusting government, they're all corrupt, all of them. They're just corrupt, all of them. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, but the people are beautiful, the people are kind, and that's the only thing that kind of keeps going in this world, that people are good. So I've had a terrific amount of negativity when it came to pointing out that certain things that appear to be amazing, oh, this is it now, it's all going to change, never did change, nothing ever did change. So I've become cynical when anybody all of a sudden starts pushing something which is majorly amazing and fantastic, which you think it is. I stand back and just take a look at it. I'm very cynical now to anything that has big exposure. Why? Because they don't let things out. They don't. They'll suppress it. And I always wonder, why now? What are they doing now? What's going on now? After, 2 decades of my life mocking and ridiculing UFOs, right? And now all of a sudden it's in the government. Give me a break. There's reasons for this. And if you've done your studying and you've done your homework, you'll realise that this was already spoke about a long time ago with regards to the final part of the plan, and that is the alien invasion. So you can't possibly have an alien invasion unless the government tells you that there is aliens, of course. It's all bollocks, all of it. And this is how they play it. It's the game they play. So there's certain things that I find fascinating, because I get mocked and ridiculed because of 2 reasons. One, well, what else can we do? Totally, I agree. What else can we do? And secondly, I get ridiculed because I say that this is what's being shown to you now is, without even them knowing, is a way to stop everything from actually becoming, I don't know, maybe it's not stopping per se, but it's not actually doing what it's meant to do. And I think that even those, and I've done the same, even those that have this desire to make the change in the world, and the only way we can make the change in the world if we know what's going on. Well, we know what's going on. We've always known the world's always known there's trafficking. The world's always known that there's lies and manipulations. The world's always known that there's UFOs. Like we've all, so we all know. We all know lies. We all know cheats. We all know. People just know these things. But we make out as if the world doesn't know these things, and we need to get the world to know these things. It's not that they don't know, it's just that they don't know what to do with it. The whole point about our life is, what do you do with something? How do you change that one person, change 1,000 people, when the whole life is based upon feeding their children, having a holiday once a year? I mean, you're going to stop all of that to now say we need to stop child trafficking? We need to tell everybody that there's UFOs. So, and so on. We can talk about so many different subjects. So, going back to the reason why I'm misunderstood a lot of the times is because of anger, because of frustration, and they target the wrong people. So, people come directly to me with anger, saying, at least they're trying, and I'm saying I totally get it. But what I'm saying is that you've got to look at it from all angles, and what is this really doing? So let's just take The Sound of Freedom. This is a new film that lots of people have jumped on the bandwagon, and all of a sudden it's everywhere. Now that's a red flag for me straight away, because if why now? Why is this now? Why didn't it happen last year or the year before? Why now? There's reasons why this is allowed to be out there. Oh, because people now talking about it, and we've got the internet and everybody. No, we've had the internet for ages. No. If they want it out, they want it out. They don't. Sorry, but there's more to it, always. Okay, so, and if they want to shut you down, they'll shut you down. They'll shut you down. Yeah, but it's all open. They'll shut you down. If they wanted that shut down, it wouldn't have been in any cinema. It wouldn't have even been allowed to be, And secondly, why isn't anybody talking about Disney? How did Disney have that film? Strange. Disney? Why would you even consider Disney wanting that film when you know that Disney is the most prolific paedophilia company in the world? Give me a break. So anyway, aside from that, let's just stick to the point in hand. Okay, so how do you appease people? Okay, you appease them by giving them the information, right? So now they appease. I need to know, tell me what's going on. There you go, okay, thanks. Then they go away and have something to eat. They have the chips, they have the Coca-Cola, and they keep continually taking all the crap that they take and watch TV because you've appeased them. That's one group of people, so that's what the film did. Okay, secondly, some people really want to make a difference, and they want everybody to know that I am for, the taking down. Everybody's for the taking down of trafficking. You're no different from anybody else. Get off your high horse, first of all. Okay, so nobody wants to see trafficking. Nobody wants to see that shite. and that bad evilness. Nobody wants to see it, right? So you go and see it, right? So you go and see the film. I haven't seen it because there's no point seeing it. And this is why I'm trying to explain there's no point going to see it, right? The only point of going to see it is that you can now hold your little red flag up, okay, or your pots and pans and bang them because you've seen them. You've seen the film. So you've been appeased now. So because I have contributed, because I went to see the film, you went to see the film, and now you're appeased. You now feel you're part of a club. You now feel that you've contributed because you went to see the film. So step back from that, out of your body, and forget who you are. Look at yourself and now ask yourself, after that film, what changed? What happened to make you change? What made... Have you changed after that film? And what are you going to do today for child trafficking? I would say, if it's all honesty, that film made you do all nothing apart from I went to see it. Okay, you went to see it, but now what? So what it actually did, it actually appeased the mind, made you feel better, because there's not much you could do anyway. And that's the point. No, ask me after I watch it, what am I going to do? Okay, what am I going to do? Write to my MP? He's a paedophile. Go up and try and into the jungle and trying to rescue children? Yeah, right. Okay, of course I am. I get smacked in the head and shot in the brain in 2 seconds. Come on, ain't gonna happen. Am I gonna? What are you gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So, the point being, the film is actually, for me, it's not a massive positive. Everybody's screaming, saying, oh, it's going to change and everything's... It's not going to change anything. In fact, if anything, it's going to make the traffickers even more aware of what's going on and what they need to do to change, and they'll continue. Of course they will. Traffickers, they make billions, trillions a year. And they're bad people. Bad people are bad people. Bad people do bad things, and they don't care. They're not like you and I. They're not like the people in Bali with love and kindness. These are animals. No, they're not. Don't even say that. Strike that last line out. They're not animals. They're a consciousness that is nothing like you and I. They come from another part of the galaxy that comes into the spacesuit, and they are pure evil, and they feed off pain and suffering, and children especially. So this will continue. So the question is, you're now probably watching this saying, you're an arsehole. What are you doing? You're saying nothing. You're right. I've spent 20 years trying to figure out all of this. I've spent 20 years trying to figure out how can we actually make a difference in this world. And I always come to the same place where literally there's really nothing we can do unless the whole world just stopped and focused on that one thing and just went there and stopped it. Is that reality? It's not reality. It's not reality, because it can't be reality. So that's the only way it's going to happen. Just stop. Okay, even if you stop paying your bills, even if you stop paying everything will collapse. So that's not a reality. I'm not feeding the government anymore. I'm not paying my tax. Well, you get thrown in prison. Simple as that. So it's like, it's awful to say, and it's so cynical to say, and people will watch this guy. I'm not watching this guy anymore because he's full of shit. Why? Because he's not giving me an answer. I'm not. But neither was the film. What I'm saying is that film may bring awareness, but it doesn't do anything other than for you to watch it and then not do anything. Let it go. Just get on with life. And because you watched it, it has more of an impact of you not doing anything. In my opinion, you'll feel sick about it and you'll feel pain watching it. That sickness and that pain is an energy that feeds the very darkness that wants you to feel sick and ill. So, even by doing good, like I come here, right, and I try and do good, with what I have, and the more successful I am, the more I give and do good, right? That's the best I can do. I sweep my own doorstep, and then I sweep other people's doorsteps and hope that they can see and continue sweeping. But when it comes to things like this, when it comes to governments, when it comes to, Trump and all of these Qurons, when it comes to coming together of 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 1 million people, right? What happens? You go, you stand there, you all feel great about yourself, and then you go home and nothing changes. Nothing changes. Even if you do 2 days or 3 days, nothing changes. But you feel better about yourself for doing it. So it's an ego thing. I don't go to rallies and talks. I don't these places where we stand and fight, because it doesn't do anything. In 20 years, I've never seen anything accomplished by standing in a group. And all these years of these 3 or 4 years of people saying COVID and all that. If the powers that be want to make something happen, they'll make something happen. And it doesn't matter if there's 10 million people on the streets. The powers that be will not allow that on mainstream media. So you won't see it. You won't even see it. And if you do, you'll tell your friend, and your friend said, oh, I didn't even know that. And it might just get out here and there, but the powers that be won't let that happen. Just won't let you see what's going on. So for a film to come out like this, and it's out open everywhere, I have to question why that is. Did it slip out of the darkness as view? No, it didn't, because it was with Disney, and they took it off Disney apparently. This just doesn't make any sense. But what makes sense to me is this: if I'm an evil piece of crap, and I don't even know if this makes any sense, but if I see an evil person and people are starting to see what he's doing, he's going to counteract and do something to make people, to appease people, right? And that's not just child trafficking, it's everything. It's just everything. This is a smoke and mirrors. Again, this is all to do with feed them, give them bread and circuses, and that's how I see it. But I am attacked all the time for having a different point of view. So I started this conversation by telling you, watch the start of the conversation. I don't have the answer. I don't really have the answer to all of this, and I've spent 20 years trying to figure it all out. And I come to the point where people ask me, well, what's going to happen? And I say, well, there's always going to be darkness. There's always going to be dark entities in this world that are inside spacesuits like yours and mine. And they're not like you and I. They're different. And they feed from causing the most pain and suffering to keep the vibration of this world low. That's ultimately what this is all about. By keeping the vibration low in this world, they feed from that very energy. So if you know that the energy they feed from is pain and suffering, abuse, paedophilia, and all of the satanic rituals that they do, which in whatever name that they do it in, that energy frequency is low, so it keeps a low vibration of this planet. So by doing that, they feed from that energy. We don't. We feel sick and ill. So they want to make us sick and ill. So they'll feed us sickness. And they'll feed us sickness not just by food, but by what we watch. So if I'm a logical person, I'm thinking about this. Okay, if you are part of a group or a religion, because it is a group and a religion, and your religion is to keep the energy low, you're going to put everything on the social media and TV as killing everybody, the end of times, the end of the world, because they know too that every thought you have causes a reaction because you're powerful. So if you are in the power of feeling sick, bad, you feel angry, that actually feeds them. It feeds them. It does. It feeds their energy. When you are in love and you are helping and giving and creating and doing and making a difference in a loving way, that's like poison to them. So of course it makes sense that they're going to show you the most shocking videos in the world. They're going to put out the worst things. They're going to feed you breaking news. They're going to feed you poisons by a mafia company that tells you that they're there to save you and help you, where actually they're poisoning you and making you sick. So everything's inverted in this world. I am not saying Mel Gibson's bad. I'm not saying anybody who tries to save children are bad. I'm just saying that something doesn't sit well and doesn't seem right. And I've seen this in the past, and I've been attacked for the same thing. So it normally gives me, all right, I'm on the right track here because I'm being attacked. So if I'm not being attacked, maybe there's nothing in it. When I'm being attacked, okay, there's something in that, because darkness weaves itself into people to attack. So whenever it's a conversation that may make a difference in the world, you get attacked. So when it's not really that important, it's not threatening the darkness, because the darkness is everywhere, it will leave you alone because you're not doing any harm in that sense to them. So that's how I see it. So when QAnon brought a film out, I knew straight away this is going to be the biggest deceit that's ever happened. There's truth in it, which is normally a really scary thing, because if there's truth in with lies, that's the manipulation that grabs people. Once it's grabbed you, guess what you do? Nothing. You go on social media and talk to each other. And do you ever watch any of the old movies where all the let's just say there's loads of them, and there's something in this. Did you ever watch Lord of the Rings? And there was a war going on. Everything was going, it was a really, really bad war, and they were all fighting, the good and evil. And all the trees sat down and just talked. That's all they did. They talked, right? And Frodo Baggins, or whoever it was, Bilbo Baggins, whoever they were sat on the trees saying, "But we need to do something. Yes, but we can't rush this. We need to talk about it." And they kept pleading to them, and only when they all got up and did something that it made a difference. But prior to that, that frustration of sat there and you're watching these, these people talking and doing nothing, this is how it feels to me. I'm like, this is the perfect psyop to make people just talk about these things but do nothing. Okay, I feel great now because I'm in this club, QAnon, and we're all going to do something, and we're all talking about it, so we're the important ones. Are you? Really? Important doing what? Talking? Fighting everybody? Screaming and shouting at everybody? But apart from that, what have you done? And actually, what's actually changed since that day? QAnon. What's actually changed? Nothing. Darkness has still continued. Bad things have happened. People have been injected. They're now being chipped. Now all the bad things are coming. You're all being fed poisons, even more now than ever. Farmers are being taken all the land off them. What did QAnon do? What did anybody do? Nothing. The individual farmer gets up and screams and shouts and says, "I'm not having this," and a few farmers come together to try and stop it. But does it end? Does it stop? No. So it's frustrating to see, well, what is the answer? And I say again, I don't have an answer. But what is wrong with me pointing out something that is fact? So I make you question and answer me. Sit down and contemplate this. What is the answer? Well, I haven't got the answer, but surely watching it's a good idea. I went to see the film. That's not an answer. That's just appeasing your ego, feeling better because you think you've done something, but you've done nothing. It's like cancer research. Oh, I gave cancer research money, and where's the cure? Oh, there isn't one, but yes, there is one. There's lots of cures. Why don't you go and talk to Dr. Brzezinski, their clinic, and say, "Oh, do you cure cancer?" "Yes, we do." Or why don't you talk to Australia? Why don't you go and find the clinic that had the blushwood berry and was injected into people and the cancer was gone within 24 hours. Did you know I used to ring them up every month? Not interested. They've shelved it. Not interested. Shut up, Mr. Bajerski. Put the phone down on you. Not interested. I'll probably tell you that I didn't phone up. Oh, I did. I phoned up all the time. You can't win, you see, because you've got this monumental power of wealth. Not just the Bill Gates, but the ones who tell them what to do. And how do you fight that? I don't know. Making us aware of it. What difference has it done? It's still continuing. Send good energy, love. I've done that. I tried that. I asked all my friends, come together, thousands of us, let's send good energy to try and change a monster into a good person. It didn't work. It didn't work. I tried for years. I believed that good can turn evil into good. It doesn't work because they're not like you and I. Evil, if you send love to evil, it's like pouring poison onto them. They're going to kill you. They're going to rip you apart to stop. So that didn't work. So I ask you again, what do you think we should do? It's a tough one, and this is ended probably in a very negative place, but maybe we need to be in this place to figure out something, But all I said at the beginning of this is, do your best, love as many people as you can, help as many people as you can, create and make a difference in the world, and that in time may help in some way. But is it all an illusion? Maybe it is. Maybe it's all an illusion and there's puppet masters and illusionists out there who are creating exactly what they want to the consciousness that they are. And those who are creating bad things in this world are not like you and I. That is one thing we need to get to understand. We really do, and I don't think people get it. They use the God energy as, oh, we're all created in the same as God. No, we're not. I believe that when we are born, a consciousness that comes into that person is different, and it comes from different parts of the cosmos. That's why some people do bad things and you can't understand why they did. And they love it when they do bad things, and they love it when they hurt people. They feed from it because they're not like you and I. So that's my truth. This isn't just one consciousness in this cosmos. There's lots of consciousnesses, just like there's lots of energies, frequencies, worlds within worlds. There's demonic energies, there's entities, there's so many. So if you can say, okay, well, where do these all come from? Well, if you're asking that question, then it must be relevant that if I say, then we're not all come from one source, God's source. You can argue and say, oh, well, it's evil. You know what, is it? Is it evil? Or could it be just their energy and that's the way they are and they don't see any different? Do you see a lion killing a gazelle as evil? It's just the way it is. So when I say to you, Bill Gates sees you as a fly on a windscreen, you're just an annoying piece of blood and guts that he wants to wipe away. I see you, if you fall and hurt yourself, as somebody that I love because you're like my brother and sister. Two different entities. So don't tell me he comes from the same God energy as me, because he doesn't. He comes from somewhere else. Anyway, guys, I'm sure I'm going to be hated again, but it's good to rattle ourselves sometimes and see what we can do to make a difference. And I'm sure some of you will really believe that going to see the movies made a difference, but I would say that, how did you feel in the movie? You felt bad? Well, yeah, you could say the same about this conversation. I've made you feel bad, so maybe I'm equally as bad. Maybe I am, don't even realize it. But what I do know is that I'm questioning myself to understand how every day that I can make a difference in the world. But like the gazelle, like the lion, it's life. Like standing on an ant. What do you, oh, I just stood on an ant killing a fly. There are people out there who see you as a fly and an ant. You've got to get that in your head. And when you realize that, then you realize what you're up against, because we tend to measure what people do by what we do. So, oh, he wouldn't do that. You mean you wouldn't do that? And because you wouldn't do that, you're measuring yourself to other people. Don't do that. There is evil in this world, for sure. It's part of the journey. Good and bad, yin and yang, light and dark. It will always be that way. So I guess finalising on one thing, happy birthday China, finalising on one thing, shine your light, do everything you can to make a difference in the world. Be as positive as you can, send love as much as you can, create, and that's it. It's as much as you can do. I do my best. And you know what? It's okay if you went to see the movie. It doesn't matter. I'm not telling you not to see it. But be aware of it. Be aware of, oh, why have I gone to see that? And what difference has it made? Question yourself. Don't be frightened of questioning yourself. And don't be frightened of saying, oh shit, I didn't realise that. Shit, they got me there. I've been doing that for 20 years. Shit, I can't believe I did that. And then I make the change. Love you all.